Hi, friends. Welcome back to Live at the Roxy on this. Had to look down to figure out what day it was. Tuesday afternoon. We have officially made it 2 days into this week. Feels like it's Friday. Why is that? Fainting, gotta get down and fainting. She's on one? She might be. A lot going on in the world today to talk about. Some political, some entertainment, some everywhere in between. But before we get to any of that, Brett Hankinson, Miles Cosgrove, Jonathan Mattingly arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor for killing Breonna Taylor, all three of them. Just in case you didn't know what kind of show it was, it's that kind of motherfucking show. And actually, we will be talking about police officers on this show again today, killing another Black person. Geez, this story fucking sucked. And but we talk about these stories on this show for a reason, so we will be talking about that. Also, wanted to talk a little bit about some of the studies that are coming from people who have had COVID and why it's really important that no matter what age you are, you work very hard to not get COVID. Jon Stewart's returning to TV. He's coming to Apple TV with a first look deal from Apple and a current affairs series for them, which is pretty exciting. There's going to be a live action Assassin's Creed series that's coming to Netflix. Seems like across the board, people are stoked about that. And more. And the and more part is whatever the fuck you guys want to talk about here in the Streamlabs. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Also in the super chat. Currently, that is 90% of how I stay alive. So I more than appreciate you guys giving anything that you can. Every dollar means the world to me. And if you have a question, comment, concern that you want read out loud on the show, that is the absolute best way to do it. Yeah. After the show yesterday, right after we ended, I saw that in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer, Lloyd Nance, our very first super chatter ever, said, "Hi, Roxy." So hi, Lloyd. Hi back to you. A day late, but here she is giving you that shout out that you oh so deserve. Anybody else who wants one? Streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. All right, so let's chat. That's what we tend to do on this show. Chat. So we might as well. Last night, I went to sleep probably at like, oh shit, did I spell Jon Stewart's name wrong? I spelled it with an H. Yeah, I'm in the Green Lantern. I'm in the Corps. I'm in that universe. Jon Stewart, fuck a duck. It's not a nitpick. That's a completely different person. Let's edit this video. My tweet already went out, but the video we can save. That's so crazy that I did that because she knows better, guys. She knows better. But not the biggest deal on the planet. Appreciate that, Saul, you pointing that out so that I could save a little bit of face. Last night, I was up like all night almost. I feel like that happens to me a lot recently, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm up and I'm on my phone and I'm playing with solitaire, Twitter. I finished Haunting of Hill House. It was fucking amazing. And I was just kind of doing my thing. And I'm scrolling through Twitter and it pops up on my Twitter maybe at like, I don't know, 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, that there were a ton of protests in Philadelphia. And it said, oh, actually it was before that. This was at like 11 p.m. I'm looking at what time I took the screenshot. So it said, protesters and police clash in Philadelphia after officers shoot and kill a local Black man. And I saw that, and in my brain, and I'm just being 100% honest with you guys, saw that in my brain, I was like, keep scrolling, Rox. You don't want to fucking hear about this right now. And I scrolled, And then there was some Kardashian something or something. And then I stopped and I was like, you know what, Rox? You don't really get to not hear about this right now. Like, I talk about this on the show all the time, but like our Black friends are fucking tired and we need to fight even harder for them who have been fighting for this their whole lives and even prior to that. So I scrolled back up and was like, it doesn't matter that you're fucking tired. It doesn't matter that you don't want to hear about this right now. Stop and read and sack up. So I looked into it and God, I can't believe we live in a world where like our cops right now, like, are you above, not above everything else, but on top of everything else, you know, right now, if you're a police officer and you kill a Black man, you're going to make major headlines. So are you stupid too? Like, fucking crazy. Multiple fucking gunshots. This is what it said last night. Protesters gathered in West Philadelphia after police fatally shot 27-year-old Walter Wallace Jr. on Monday afternoon, according to video footage from the scene, which was taken down last night, but I believe you can find it in a couple of places still. Wallace was seen holding a knife and was about 10 feet away from the officers when they fired. Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney and Police Commissioner Daniel Outlaw released statements after the incident promising a full investigation and confirmed that they will meet with members of the community and Wallace's family. So that was last night. And it was just fucking frustrating to see. Apparently his mom was shouting, saying that he has mental illness and she knows that he would be putting down the knife, and everybody was saying that. And then apparently two different cops shot him, and both shot multiple times and killed him. And there were so many legitimate questions that people who were watching or his mom had. Why didn't they use a taser? You know, it's not like he has a gun. He has a knife. So why didn't they use a taser? Why did they shoot multiple times? Why didn't they shoot to injure, not shoot to kill? I mean, not that they should be shooting at all. Why isn't there somebody there to de-escalate the situation? This guy is 27. He's younger than I am, and I feel like I'm a fucking child. And I just truly don't believe, and you guys correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I just truly don't believe if this guy's white that he ends up dead. Exact same situation, different color skin. I don't believe he ends up dead. And we just continue to fucking see this happening. And it's really fucking upsetting. More than upsetting. It's not okay, and we can't let it continue. And as I was saying, Brett Hankinson, Miles Cosgrove, Jonathan Mattingly, I'm just thinking how those names mean so much to us, but it seems like they don't fucking mean jack shit to other police officers. And you're telling me you're a Philadelphia police officer and you see a man 10 feet away from you and he has a knife and he's Black, and you're sitting there and you're thinking, you know what we should do? We should kill him because that will stop this. What fucking world are you living in right now? Like, what are the conversations being had behind closed doors with these police officers where nobody's telling them, you don't fucking murder somebody, who has mental illness and their mom is screaming that, B, does not have a gun, has a knife, C, with two cops shooting multiple times. I mean, it's just, for all of the reasons, it's fucking horrifying. So really frustrating. And apparently he was walking in the other direction, or like not going towards them. I don't know. I saw this is still trending today, but I feel like this is even kind of barely making the same level of news, possibly because he had a knife. So people are saying because he was armed, but it's still super fucked up. His name is Walter Wallace Jr. And this is not okay. It's not fucking okay. Oh, a lot of people tweeting about it and kind of saying the same thing. Some people saying that the police officers told him to drop the knife, but he didn't, which is why they both fired, which is, again, he doesn't have a gun, he has a knife. It's not the fucking same thing. So I don't get to be tired about this. I have to keep talking about it on this show. I wish I didn't have to talk about it on the show. And if it was slowing down or stopping, then maybe I wouldn't. But because it isn't, this is our moral obligation and responsibility to society to keep fucking talking about how we're not okay with this. And this is fucking wrong. Just super fucking wrong. So anyway, that's something that I can't just scroll through, and neither can you guys. And just what I wanted to make sure that we talked about on the show. Taking a break from that for a second, going to a couple of different super chats and Streamlabs. Melissa Byrne said, love the hustle. Are you streaming Saturday? Yeah, I stream every single day live at the Roxy, 1 p.m. So yes, I am streaming Saturday. I know that I'll be doing live at the Roxy. I don't know whether I'll be doing a Halloween like nighttime thing. Also, Steph and I were kind of thinking about it. But definitely I'll be going live that day because I go live every day. Spidey Sensei in the stream super chat. Hey, Roxy, hair looks on point as usual today. Hope the rash is going away. Yeah, the rash went away. It just comes and goes and comes and goes. Thank you about the hair. I have this new this new thing from Bellamy that I'll show you guys. It's fucking sick. And it is a heated brush. So it's like it looks like a hairbrush, but you plug it in and it's heated and it just kind of like smooths everything out. And I've been living for it. So thank you. Shout out to our girl, Ashley Daniels, who did that, which I really, really appreciate. You guys are the fucking best in here. I know that I've gone up every single day, but you guys have showed up every single day. And that means the world to me. Speaking of people who show up, somebody who shows up consistently, not only on this show, but for me all the time, and is constantly writing me these encouraging messages that are just so beautiful and wonderful. Leonard Kim in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Schreier with awesome support. Thank you, Leonard, for this big support. Hey, Roxy, I hope you're doing well and staying safe and healthy. I don't know about you, but I am psyched about This Is Us returning tonight. There's plenty to delve into, explain, etc. The hair looks gorgeous, Roxy. The hair to one side, it looks great. And then said stars. Thanks, Leonard Kim. Really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm stoked that This Is Us is returning. I definitely need more This Is Us in my life. And, just TV in general. Big Brother's coming to an end. Now we've got Bachelorette that's up and running on Tuesdays also. This Is Us. I still have Haunting of Bly Manor to binge through. So we got some stuff coming. Fargo. We got that good stuff. And again, thank you, Leonard Kim, for always being such a source of happiness in my life. Bear Hudson. Bear, I haven't seen you in a minute. Where you been? Hope everything's going okay. You've got some crazy shit going on in your life. So appreciate you stopping by. Bear says, thank you so much for the advice about my girlfriend's assault at work. She's attending counseling. Oh, great. I miss you, Roxy. Hope you're doing okay. Black Lives Matters. Absolutely, they do. And can't even believe that we have to say that. And that anybody has a different opinion than that, because it's not a fucking opinion. It's just a fact. And I'm glad that the advice helped about your girlfriend. I hope she's doing okay. That's fucking awful that happened. And we're here for you and thinking about you, Bear, and appreciate you stopping by and showing support in the super chat as well. All right. I just Matthew McConaughey. All right. It's not my best impression. Technically, I don't do great impressions in general, but I'm going to go with the fact that that one's like uber not good. So, all right. How's it say it? Kind of woof. And shout out to everybody for being in here right now. Just calling out some names that I see. Danny Ramirez showing up more recently. We love to see that. Jake Yakoveta, my amazing mod. The Third Turd, an OG. Rob Fishback writing them good songs. Lemmy Kilmister, thank you for being here, my dear. MK Songbird. Just figured I'd give a few shout outs. Just a little shout out. Little shout out section. Should we give us a shout out section? bizarre the way that I speak sometimes. Let's continue to talk about what's going on in the world. Maybe switching over a little bit to the world of entertainment. Jon Stewart, not the Green Lantern, the talk show host, is returning with a current affairs series for Apple. If you're like me, you love Jon Stewart. I just think he is the ultimate. He's so smart, so funny, so quick, super with it. I'm a big Jon Stewart fan. What I have to tell you guys is I still haven't seen the morning show, and I haven't seen the morning show because I don't have Apple TV. And I don't have Apple TV because I have Disney and HBO Max and Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and all the things. And I was just like, do I really need to get Apple TV? And honestly, I feel like I do. At this point, not having Apple TV, I feel like I'm kind of missing out. With this new series too, I want to watch the morning show. I want to watch Jon Stewart do his thing again. There's other shows that you guys have told me about on there too that I'm just like, okay. Legotland says, okay, but if Green Lantern Jon Stewart did this, that would be great too. Oh man, I can't believe I spelled his name wrong, especially with how big of a fan I am. Just is what it is. Is what it is. And I love the advocacy Jon Stewart has been doing. We talk about this on the show all the time as well. He's just awesome. So big supporter of his. This show is a part of a multi-year first look deal that they're doing with Apple and Jon Stewart. He signed that deal through his company, Buzzboy Productions. Apple ordered multiple seasons of this new show, just straight up out of the gate. It's like kind of like you don't have to prove that he works. Everybody knows that it works. The 1 hour series will explore a single topic with each episode, with each topic being part of the current national events as well as Stewart's advocacy work. Each season will be accompanied by a companion podcast. So what's interesting about this is you guys know I'm really upset that Hasan Minhaj's show went away, and it kind of did the same thing where they focus on one topic. It's also what John Oliver does. There's a few different shows that do it, but I love when shows do this because they're really able to deep dive into one thing. And I'm still so upset that Hasan Minhaj's show was canceled at Netflix because I loved Patriot Act. I think Hasan Minhaj is so fucking talented and awesome. But you know, at least this is something good happening here. And the part where it's accompanied by a companion podcast, that's kind of cool. I love that additional content for anybody who wants to listen. There's always more that doesn't make it, and that's on the cutting room floor, and they can talk a little bit more about things that are going on. So this is good news. And I think a big reason to get Apple, and I think this will help boost their subscribers. I do think that it's kind of going to be a big game with all these streaming services, and Apple's like really seeing that and saying, okay, what can we do? What can we do? Real Talk says my stream has a little bit of a lag. Is everybody seeing that, or is that just with Real Talk with CeeLo's? Let me know, guys, because I'm not seeing anybody else talk about the lag. So is it on my end or is it on his end? Please let me know. Nadine also says, Nadine says, I'm still so bummed the show's canceled. I love Patriot Act. Me too. I freaking love that show. Super. Okay, the video has a lag, but the audio is perfect. It's freezing occasionally. Let's check it out, homies. A little behind the scenes investigation. Did you guys know? I didn't know until I started streaming about this site called speedtest.net. This is not an ad. This is me just talking about something that's been very helpful for me. So if you ever want to know how your upload speed or your download speed is, there's all different ways that you can do it. But one of the things that I do is I go to speedtest.net, and it tells you in like very simple terms, because I suck at this kind of stuff, what your upload and download is. And sometimes your download can be so fast, which is why you can watch things really quickly, but your upload is not doing that well. No, my upload right now, so my download's at 231 and my upload right now is at a 9. Usually like it to be a little closer to a 10, but it's not too shabby. 9.69 actually. Ooh, that's 69, baby. Matthew says it's fine on his end. A little freezing here and there. All right. No lag for me, says Stormy. I don't know. This has been happening with YouTube where sometimes half the people have an issue and half the people don't. I don't know what to say about that. I'm sorry, guys. I hope maybe refresh the page. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Let's see. Spidey Sensei 72 in the super chat. Dude, Keith Raniere from NXIVM just got sentenced to 120 years. Is that fucking true? No way. Sex Cult has been sentenced to 120 years in prison. Holy shit. I'm only smiling like this because fuck this dude. Keith Raniere just got sentenced to 120 years and he deserves every fucking one of them. This guy is a psychotic piece of shit. I watched the entire The Vow series. I haven't watched the other series yet that's on Stars, I believe. But this guy is a true motherfucker who has manipulated specifically women, but men as well, and people for years, and led the NXIVM Sex Cult, which scarred so many people's lives. Literally physically scarred them, as many of the members had to end up getting branded by their vaginas with his fucking initials on them that looked like a symbol. Wow. This is really good news. This is fuck yeah news. It's fuck no news that people like him exist on the planet, but you'll love to see people get their fucking due. And this guy, I mean, this is a massive form of sexual assault, manipulation, destroyed people's lives, didn't believe that men and women were equal. I mean, that's like even like 18th down the list of trash things that he fucking did. Stole so much money from people too. I mean, took their whole livelihoods, wasn't paying people, fucked up with his taxes, was such a dickhead. Wow. 120 years. This is why you don't start a fucking sex cult and you don't think you're above God, which he like really believed he was the smartest person on the planet. And his IQ was incredibly smart. I mean, and he was brilliant. But what a piece of fucking shit. Wow. All right, let's look into this. Damn, I am so fucking happy to hear this. I'm sorry, but this, I'm not sorry. You know, I'm actually not sorry. You reap what you sow, and this guy really fucking sowed his shit. Damn. 120 years in prison after accusers confront him in court. I've got to watch this. And there's a second series, season of The Vow that they picked up. I wonder if this will be part of it. Okay, so he's 60 years old. Judged 120 years in prison for sex trafficking and fraud. Shortly after, 15 former NXIVM members confronted him in Brooklyn federal court, recalling in harrowing detail the abuse they endured in the sex cult. In addition to what is effectively a life sentence, U.S. District Judge Nicholas Garofis slapped Raniere with a $1.75 million fine for his crimes, stating that the severity of his offenses was cruel, perversive, and extremely serious. Addressing the court on Tuesday, Raniere expressed his deep remorse to those he had hurt over the years, but continued to insist he had been wrongfully accused. Oh my God. Quote, "I am deeply sorry, and I see that where I am is caused by me. I am deeply remorseful and repent," he said. The sentencing marks the end of a years-long battle between Raniere, known as Vanguard, that's what he made everybody call him, and scores of former members who alleged NXIVM was a criminal enterprise in which Raniere had sex with underage girls, forced women he impregnated to have abortions, and made slaves. They had to call him master, and he called them slaves. Illegally monitor his enemies. Last June, Raniere was convicted of 7 offenses, including wire fraud, conspiracy, sex trafficking conspiracy, and forced labor conspiracy for manipulating his followers for his own sexual gratification under the guise of NXIVM's mission. Camilla, one of Raniere's victims, slapped the sex cult leader in court on Tuesday afternoon, describing how he hid his abuse behind concepts of value and nobility. Quote, "But there is nothing noble about abusing a child," end quote, she declared as Raniere looked away. Camilla, who said she had a sexual relationship with Raniere for over 12 years, beginning when she was 15 years old, spoke for the first time about the abuse she endured, detailing to the court how he isolated her from friends and family for his sexual gratification. The woman, now in her 30s, explains her decision to speak was her way of getting her voice back after years of coming to terms with the trauma of abuse. Wow, guys. I mean, just insanity. This is very, very good news. And if you guys want to know more, please check out The Vow. It gives you the whole lead up to a lot of this. And then again, there's that show that's also on Stars now. Hopefully you guys give me the name, but I will continue to look into this. And it's so crazy because you watch these normal ass people get involved with a cult, because nobody signs up to be involved with a cult. You sign up for something you believe in and then don't even know until it's like you're too far in. Wow. 120 years. That's what you fucking get for being a sex trafficking, pedophile, statutory rapist, womanizing piece of shit. Damn. I have not heard that Allison Mack, who is the one who was from Smallville, but was also very high up in this cult, I have not heard of her having any charges like this. So the sentencing date for Allison Mack hasn't been set, says MK Sunbird. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Wow, I feel shook. Good one for the world today. Good one for the fucking world. Yup. All right, let's get back to the super chat and the Streamlabs as well, and then a little bit more news. But thank you guys for always keeping me on point and letting me know what is going on. Matthew Gold in the Streamlabs says Matthew McConaughey has a new book out. I definitely recommend it. Damn, what's it called? I gotta check it out. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar. Bryce Rat 1 says, hey Roxy, I'm in a bummer mood. Oh, I'm sorry, my roommate has COVID, so now I can't work for 2 weeks. So my donations will be smaller for a while. That's okay, Bryce Rat. I'm obsessed with you anyway. Thank you for being here. Gonna spend these 2 weeks writing movies and TV reviews on my website. Would love if you would read one sometime. Bryce Rat, the best thing that you can do when you are given a situation that you can't help, like you can't work because your roommate has COVID for 2 weeks. So you can't work for 2 weeks. So the best thing you can do is exactly what you're doing. Make lemonade out of lemons and write and work on something else and do what you can to like still continue to advance your career, your happiness. And I think all of us rockstars would love to read one of your reviews sometime. So let us know when, where, how, what to find it. Mac pled guilty, I believe, says Stormy Wood. Huh. I got to look into this. I mean, she's not as big. I feel like she was fucking hypnotized or whatever it is. She's not as big as a motherfucker as he is, but she still did some really, really fucked up things. And people trusted her because, like, she's famous and had this air about her. Yuck. Matthew Gold says it's called Green Lights. Matthew McConaughey is an interesting cat. He's definitely an interesting cat. All right, moving on. You guys continue to let me know what you think in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Striar, or right here in the super chat. Didn't mean to put that up, but hi to Bruce Banner, who's joining us. Don't hold clap, am I right? Assassin's Creed is coming to Netflix for a series. I talked about this a little bit on SEN today, but in general, we know that when you're a video game, the adaptations are typically much, much better on TV than they are in movies. It's interesting that comic book series I think comic book shows are equally as good as movies, but comic books can be really long, and they've found ways to adapt comic books for movies because lots of times they're franchises or they tell a smaller portion of it, but they just haven't really figured out how to make video games into strong movies yet. So it's great that Assassin's Creed is coming to Netflix. Seems like a lot of people are really excited about this, that there's a lot of interesting stories to tell. We can go to different places, different times, and that it could be kind of an anthology series because we could go to a different place every season. So I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. And I'm excited to see this take place. I'm not a big Assassin's Creed person, but usually things that have source material end up having more depth to them, like layers of that onion that can be peeled. And Yes, sign me up. Into it. Who's excited for the Assassin's Creed series? Do you wish instead they were doing a new version of the movie, or are you happy that they're scrapping that and they're going with the series? Do you think Assassin's Creed won't make a good series and you wish they would just leave it alone? Let me know, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider or right here in the super chat. I don't know how I pick which words to say strangely. It just kind of comes to me, guys. Just kind of comes to me. Stormy says I'm not a gamer. The last video I played was the original PlayStation. Feel that. Super Dan actually joining us for a live stream. It's been a while. Welcome, Super Dan. Appreciate that. Also important to note that this is going to Netflix. Netflix usually lets their creators run a little bit more wild. So that will probably be good for this show as well. So it's going to be a little more out there and creator friendly. All right. So that we've talked a little bit of world news, including what's happening in Philadelphia and how awful that is. We talked a little bit of streaming, including Jon Stewart, not the Green Lantern Jon Stewart, but Jon Stewart, the entertainment host, returning to Apple, and Assassin's Creed coming to Netflix. And before we get out of here, I want to talk a little bit about COVID. I know we've talked a lot about COVID on the show. It's not the most fun topic to talk about, but one of the things, when you're trying to stop the bleeding on something, you're not really thinking about the long-term injuries that could be taking place. If somebody's bleeding, you do what you can to stop the bleeding. You cauterize, you cover, you pinch, you strap, you do whatever you can, and then you figure out what the fuck's going on. We've kind of done the same thing with COVID, where right now, because COVID has killed way more than 200,000 people in the United States alone, what's happening is that we've been since March, doing what we can to stop the bleeding. Not everybody is participating, but, we're wearing masks. We're washing our hands. We are trying not to go out in public as much. We are in outdoor space instead of indoor spaces. A lot of places are closed. We've just been trying to stop the bleeding. When people have COVID, we're trying to get them on ventilators with more air and get them more comfortable and take care of them. So that's what we've been doing so far. What we don't know are the long-term ramifications of COVID because A, we couldn't possibly do research on this when COVID is new, relatively. And B, we've been spending all our time figuring out how to cure it, not what's going to happen to the people who have had it. So more studies finally are coming out about what it means. And this isn't to scare anybody who's gotten COVID, because there's so many of us who have gotten COVID that don't even know that we've gotten COVID, because the antibody tests only help for 3 to 6 months. So even if you got it at the beginning and you take it now, you don't know, because people are asymptomatic. And also, it's not going to be the same for every person, as we've seen that this has vastly different effects on every single person. But one story that I was reading today, and the reason I say this again is not to scare people who've had it, it's to keep people from getting COVID fatigue, which is what they're calling it now when we're going out in public all the time, because we're just thinking that we're over this COVID fucking quarantine lockdown. So we're just like, oh, fuck it. It's fine now, when it's not actually fine. But this one study is talking about the fact that brains of patients recovering from COVID-19 may age 10 years. Now, that's pretty massive. 10 years is a pretty massive jump. A team of researchers led by a doctor at Imperial College in London analyzed the results of 84,285 people who completed a study called the Great British Intelligence Test. The findings are yet to be reviewed by other experts. So this is just one test that they are finding, one researcher, but 84,000 people. So this is coming from Reuters Science News. This tweet said, people recovering from COVID-19 may suffer from significant brain function impacts, with the worst cases of the infection linked to mental decline equivalent to the brain aging by 10 years. That's what researchers are warning. The article from Reuters went on to explain completely, but I found this very fascinating because There's so many things that we don't know the long-term effects of or ramifications of. I talk about this all the time with things like Adderall or Xanax, where they got really big with my generation, but we don't know the long-term effects of these things. They haven't been fully studied because they haven't been around long enough. Now, obviously, COVID's not something that you're taking willingly. It's not a pill, but we don't know what it can cause. So even if you're asymptomatic at the time, and even if you don't end up, feeling sick, and even if you're not around elderly people, and even if you're being, you're just thinking, okay, well, it doesn't really matter if I get this. You don't fucking know. You just don't know. So this is my reminder to everybody to still try and be as safe as you possibly can, because this is a wild development. And a lot of doctors have been talking about the fact that we do not know long-term what happens with your brain, long-term what happens with your body. Is that how you say it? Rotors? I thought it was rudders. Rotors. That's the science news. Sorry. Sorry if I fucked that up. Thank you, Red Panda. Rotors science news. Maybe it's because of my Boston accent. Ratus. Yeah. So there's just so much left to be known about this disease. And I just wanted to share this with you guys because I think a lot of us are burying our head in the sand right now, including me, thinking about Halloween this weekend. And it's like, is it okay to go to a party? There's going to be how many people there? And it's like, everybody has to make their own decisions, and everybody knows, like, their balance of their own body. You can't just be alone all the time in your house and never leave. That's not something you can do. But at the same time, Reuters is what you guys are saying. Brad Panda says Reuters. Okay, Reuters. You guys are all over the place. So important information to have, and I hope you guys take it as seriously as I'm taking it, that we don't know. And 10 years of my brain, I might have already had COVID. I don't know. Remember, I was very sick in February, and I'm hoping that that's not what that was, but I really don't know. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have already had it as well. But for those people who haven't or don't want to get it again because they're saying that you possibly can, and that some people have, just don't know. Better safe than sorry. Let's go into the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Stryer. Okay. Leonard Kim in the Streamlabs. Could you please elaborate on why Haunting of Hill House is so great? I generally don't like the horror genre. Please don't tell Darina. It's hard enough with the pandemic. I don't need her evil sorcery to deal with too. But I'll try to be open. So at its heart and soul and core, I feel like this is a show about family trauma, and like a shared family traumatic experience. I think that is why I was so attached to it. I love sibling dynamics, father-daughter, father-son, mother-daughter, mother-son stuff as well. There was only one like major jump scare, and the rest is kind of eerie. I think it was beautiful. It makes you think about what happens after you die. It makes you think about what you want to do while you're on this planet, or if you've ever had dark thoughts, where they're coming from. It's devastating, but it's also something that just really makes you think. And it's not just scary for scary's sake. So I thought it did a really, really beautiful job. And I'm excited about Bly Manor. I hear it's different and more of a love story. But yeah, to me, it hit checked all the things. When people say it's not horror, I don't necessarily agree. I think it's horror done really well, because horror doesn't just have to be scary. And it is scary. It's a little freaky, but it's not scary like horror movies are scary. Like when you're like comparing this to some of the scariest movies of all time, this isn't like, holy shit, this is one of the scariest things I've ever seen. But it's more like creepy eerie, like ooh, like that. So hopefully that helps answer that. Great question. Thank you, Leonard Kim. Glenn Caesar in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider says, hello, Roxy. Love you. Happy Saturday. As always, thanks for hanging out with us and giving us a show today. Great job on SEN Live. I'd say that Keith Raniere's sentence is definitely some fuck yeah news. Hell yeah. 120 years. That motherfucker will never see the light of day again, as he should not. I hope you and the rock stars have a joy-filled day too. Anyhow, RJ, aka Roxy Buckets, Misdirection, Skittles. If you can make it happen, I say yes to a Halloween night episode of Live at the Spexy or a Halloween night Zoom hangout for the Roxy Strider Patreon. Peace, love, bunnies, and hugs to you all. Thanks, Glenn. Love those suggestions. Yeah, I got to talk to Steph and figure out what exactly we're doing. We have a big World Girls meeting today, but Dee is not going to be here over Halloween, so we can't. Otherwise, we'd be probably doing a World Girls thing. But I'll try to gauge where she's at. Staying in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider. Great9, GR89 says, by the way, cool handle, Great9. Those who are most affected and need oxygen or respirators might need months of physical rehabilitation and might have lasting cognitive effects. Yeah, that's scary too. And we don't know which one of us that's going to be, because some of us have underlying conditions that we're not even aware of or just won't react well to it. So, yeah, it's a lot. I am with you. Morse code Z in the Streamlabs, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider said, my boss walked in at around 15 minutes, so I'm over 20 minutes behind now. I haven't noticed a lag. Okay, good, Morse code Z. I'm happy to hear that. For those of you guys who did have a lag, that sucks. I'm sorry. Ugh, I wish I could do anything to help it. My internet's pretty good, so I don't know. It might be a YouTube thing. Anything else? Get it in now. We are getting out of here soon. Streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider. In terms of this week, I am filming a thing. Oh, I don't think that's going to be live yet, but I'm shooting a Rotten Tomatoes thing, which I'm excited about. And then tomorrow I've got this show. I've got World Girl Wednesday, where we're airing our Day of the Dead episode. We just saw the first cut. It looks fucking awesome. Frank crushed it on this one. It's a pretty emotional episode. It's very sweet. Still funny, but it's really good. So I'm excited about that. And then I think there's some Schmodown matches for me. I don't know which ones I can say. Yeah. And then Thursday live at the Roxy, Friday live at the Roxy. You guys know the deal. And the super chat, Chris Burke, hey Roxy, it's Avery. Well, my dad is a married man now. Yes, so you can't have him anymore. I love you. Avery, let me know how it went. How was it being a bridesmaid? I think that's what you said you were. And how was the actual wedding? We're really happy for you and for your dad, and excited for your guys' future. It's awesome when anything good happens during this time. And you just never know. You just never know when, where, or who you're going to meet that's going to change your life forever. Could be at the grocery store, could be online, could be outside walking your dog. You just don't know. It's not impossible to make new friends or people during COVID. It's just challenging. So and it's not impossible to be happy during COVID. It's just challenging. Just challenging. Everybody's saying congrats to Chris Burke. That's awesome. Love that. Love that. Okay. Getting out of here, guys. If you are watching this live or after the fact, please leave a thumbs up on this video, a comment as well. It really helps the algorithms. I very much so appreciate it. And in the comments, which I read every single comment every single day, please let me know if you guys want me to talk about anything specific on the next show. There are 125 people watching live right now, 83 thumbs up. So get those thumbs going and feel free to Streamlabs in at any time. And I'll read the Streamlabs on the upcoming show, streamlabs.com/Roxy Strider. We got rent and all the bills due in 4 days. Oh boy, it's right around the corner. Jig Yoda, always coming in the clutch. Obsessed with Jig Yoda. I'm about to eat some Honey Nut Cheerios, then check the mail. Have a good day, Roxy. Jig Yoda, I'm obsessed with you. From our Thanksgiving shoot with the World Girls, I still have cornflakes. I can't tell you guys what we use them for, but I don't even like cereal. Remember how I told you guys we got soot everywhere? You can kind of see on the box. You see like the black down there and like up here. Tons of soot. Anyway, I'm not a cereal person, but I love cereal. I love really sugary cereal, just plain. So like I'll eat handfuls and handfuls of like Lucky Charms, Apple Jacks, Fruit Loops. I think those are my big three. Cocoa Puffs. Oh, Cocoa Puffs are so good. Why does nobody talk about Cocoa Puffs anymore? Why does nobody talk about Cocoa Puffs anymore? Solid fucking question. Can we get to 100 thumbs up before we get out of here? We are at 93 right now. Let's see, 123 people watching live. Can we do it? Yes, it can. Can I kick it? Yes, it can. So I never claimed to be a good rapper / singer. Just claimed a lot of other things. 94 thumbs up. 96 thumbs up. Slow and steady wins the race, I suppose. All right. Then I'll leave you guys with this. Make your beds. Put down the fucking toilet seats. We don't want them toilet flumes. Try and do everything you can to be that 1% happier. Show up for your loved ones. Doesn't mean you have to be in person. Call the check-in on people. They'll call the check-in on you the more you do that. And stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 1 p.m. live at the Roxy. We officially hit that 104 thumbs up. You guys are the fucking best. All right. And hey, fuck yeah news. Raniere, 120 years. Needed that victory today, baby. Needed that fucking victory. See you guys next time.